We're going to be talking about Jekyll a little bit. I've set up a GitHub product page for my WooCommerce product cart title plugin. It's a really simple plugin that just adds a meta box to your WooCommerce products that allows you to change the title in the cart. And this kind of came about because I was talking to Sean Hesketh of WP in 1 month, and he was talking to Mendel um, of GoDaddy, and they were saying how once a user gets to the cart, they kind of lose all of the value that you would see, kind of all the why you should buy this sales pitch stuff that you would see uh, on the sales page, right? So once you get to the cart page, you just see the name of the product. Maybe the product doesn't project the value as well as, your sales page does. So what this plugin does is it allows you to put in a cart title page. So, if I'm selling a course just called like an introduction to Gutenberg, which I am, I can have the introduction to Gutenberg product title, right, which is good for like your SEO juice and stuff like that. But then when you get to the cart, it might say, learn the new WordPress editor, or how to use the WordPress editor. Teach your clients how to use the new WordPress editor. That way people see the value in what they're about to purchase. So that's the I built the plugin in a night in October, and I kind of forgot about it for a while. And then I mentioned it on Twitter, and the folks at Liquid Web reached out and wanted to talk to me about it. So I decided to make this product page, which I think I can access at GitHub, jcasabona.github maybe. jcasabona.github.com/name of the product. I think that's probably right. Yeah, totally. So what you see here is you see view on GitHub, download zip, download the tar, and then the description. The description you'll see closely matches, or exactly matches really, what you see in the README markdown file, right? So the content for the page is being pulled from the README markdown file. There's also a config.yml file, so that allows me to do a couple of settings here. So let me kind of start at the beginning here. I found out that you can do project pages basically for every project that you have on GitHub for free, and as well as the kind of personal homepage that you can have at your username.github.com, right, which is its own repository with files that you can manage yourself. So we're going to be talking about the project page here, and there's a few tutorials on GitHub. They're like kind of okay. User organization and project pages. There's some documentation that I'll link in the description for this video that I used that was kind of helpful. But once you get up and running, and what they recommend you do is you create a new branch called gh-pages, which needs to be orphaned from the main branch, right? It doesn't need to be, but it should be, right? So you can see, like, I didn't really fully grasp or do all of this. I just cloned the master branch and then added the necessary files, right? So the full plugin is actually in the GitHub pages branch, but really all you need is a config.yml file and a readme.md file, and this is where the content comes from. So GitHub project pages uses Jekyll, which I don't have a definition, but it's like this nifty like server side like plain. It's like it takes static text and turns it into a dynamic thing, right? So it's pretty neat. I'm using a theme called where are we? Where's the theme I'm using? Tactile, right? So this is the tactile theme. And I was trying to figure out how I could modify the title because it was just using the name of the branch, which is WooCommerce -product-cart-title. It didn't have like the downloadable buttons here like you see in the demos, and I really wanted that because when the Liquid Web blog post comes out, I wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to download it. It's not on the WordPress repo yet. Um, I'm working on. There was like some bug in my code that prevented it from being on the repo. But I want people to be able to download it easily. And then I wanted some description here. I wanted, like a link to me and stuff like that. So I was trying to figure out how to do all of that. I was inclined to think that it's stuff that goes in the config.yml file, right? So like you could see I'm using the Cayman theme, right? So okay, I'm using the Cayman theme. So actually let me find the right theme here. Page themes.cayman. Okay, cool. Um so you can define the theme here. So you can find any of the Jekyll themes that you like and just pull them in on GitHub. And then you do have the title, the Twitter name, the GitHub username, and the repo. You have show downloads. That is a boolean that I've set to true, and the zip URL, so I can define like what the URL should be. It took me a while to figure this out because the documentation that I was using wasn't great, and and this was my first time using Jekyll, so like I have no idea how Jekyll is supposed to work at this point or whatever. So I decided to just Google the name of the theme. I figured like that would give me some insight into how all of this worked. And luckily, I was correct, right? So if we go to the Cayman theme, so there's a repo on GitHub called pages dash themes. And this is all of the page themes that you can use. So you can pick the one that you like the best. I'm using Cayman because I don't know, it was very easy. Like it just looked nice, I guess. And then I was clicking around this repo to see exactly how to use it. So I clicked on index.md. And index.md, oh, that was not helpful at all, actually. So I found one of these files that should help me. So we've got the Cayman theme, and I was looking at the source, right? So actually you could see it here, right? Import site.theme in these like double curly braces. This was the thing. Oh, here we go. Copy the original. Oh, it's in layouts. Okay, so if we go to layouts, this is how I found my way. I should have documented this as I was doing it, but you know how it is. I was just trying to figure something out. You're not like, I should be writing this down. So here's the default.html. Here's the layout. So if we look at the HTML file, we can see that there's a lot of stuff going on here, but the things that clued me in, right, are like, this is like a callback to like smarty tags. I don't know if you remember like smarty tags from way back in the day, but it's the double curly braces, and then we have site.title, site.github.repository name, right? So these are the things that were telling me, okay, so these are the variables that I need to use and define in order for me to show this stuff, right? So if site.show downloads, right? So this told me it was a boolean. I went back to my config.yml file, and I set show downloads as I saw it in the template to true. And that made the buttons show up, which was really cool. And then there's a bunch of other um, variables that you can kind of pull in here, right? So getting up and running with GitHub and Jekyll can be pretty quick, right? You have these themes that you're pulling in. You can even add your own Google Analytics if you want to track like hits and stuff like that. You can set the repository name, and it has the footer. And then if you want to, so I haven't figured this out yet. So maybe this is something that I'll try to do, kind of in this live stream, right? So let's see. Anything going on the GitHub, on the Discord now? Okay, cool. So what I'm going to try to do here, I'm going to figure out if I can use my own theme. I mean, I'm certain that you can. I'm just not sure exactly how to do it, right? So I'm going to Google use custom GitHub project GitHub. project pages theme. Adding a Jekyll theme to your GitHub pages site. Perfect. So adding config to activate all other. So in the upper right corner, view, right, edit file. Activate the theme by adding your config YML. To activate one of the officially supported themes, type theme : okay. To activate any other open source Jekyll theme hosted on GitHub, type remote theme followed by the name of the theme as shown in the README or other documentation in the theme source. So that's pretty cool, right? So you basically what I would need to do here is set up my own Jekyll theme, and then reference the remote repository, right? So I'm using Cayman. I like Cayman a lot. I'm going to fork the Cayman theme, right? So we'll do fork. I have to log into GitHub naturally. I need to remember the quick keys for 1Password. On a Windows machine, I don't remember them at all. Being back on a Windows machine is like walking with a new pair of legs. It's like it feels kind of familiar, like I should know what I'm doing, but it's been a long time, or since I've walked, I guess. Okay, so fork this to my personal repository. All right, cool. So now this is called jcasabona-cayman. I'm going to maybe rename this if possible. Rename this branch. Cayman. Let's call it J-Man. That's silly. That's dumb. We'll just call it. Let's see. This is a WooCommerce thing, so money. So let's call it Rockefeller. All right, Rockefeller is a GitHub theme. There's no website for it yet. Save that. There is a way for me to rename. Yeah, okay. Rockefeller. I know it's Rockefeller, but right, it's Rockefeller. But I'm from New York, so I'm calling it Rockefeller. Cool. So now I've got a forked theme called Rockefeller. I've got the README. I guess I need to probably rename this. Let me see. So I've got, again, guys, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. This is just kind of stuff that I am working on. So, or working through, really. Okay, so this looks like the GitHub pages config. Well, this is the name of the repo, right? So let me make a change to the default HTML. I'll just do that right in GitHub, and I'll add a little thing down here. Rockefeller, more like Rockapellas. So a super subtle change here. And then we will save this. We'll commit this. Commit directly to the master branch. And then I will go back to reload. I'm on the right branch here, GitHub pages. And then I will do remote theme. And this is called jcasabona/Rockefeller. All right, man, let's see if this works. Might take a minute to configure, right, to get pushed through. I'll refresh the page. I guess it should appear like right around here if it works properly. And I can do like a hard refresh, but it might take a couple of minutes to do that. In the meantime, I will maybe like update this theme proper. So I've updated this. This is cool. So maybe I need to change this to s name. Yeah, why don't I? Well, I'll update this file. I'll refresh to make sure nothing has changed. I suspect this will completely break if it doesn't work properly, because now I've just removed the theme. Right, there's no active theme. Oh man, Rockefeller, more like Rockefellas. Sweet. So I now have a custom theme that I'm using, forked off of Cayman, um, by creating my own repo, renaming it, and referencing it as the remote theme within the config.yml. I think YML probably stands for YAML, but I don't like to pronounce acronyms or extensions, except for JPEG, I guess. Scratch that. Let's scratch that from the record. I'll say JPEG and GIF, but I won't say ping because that's ridiculous, you guys. Drawing a line in the sand. Ping should just be pronounced PNG. So okay, so that's really cool. So maybe I'll spend a little bit of extra time. Maybe I'll make a real official video where I spruce this theme up, and I'll still give credit to the author, but I'll remove references of Cayman and stuff like that, and I'll give it its own look and feel. But that's really exciting. I suspect I can add my own variables here, within the layouts dot or the default.html that I can then add to the config.yml file, and that's pretty neat. So, and this is all happening thanks to GitHub Pages. I did recently also launch a site on CodePen, which I think probably also supports Jekyll. So I mean, this is really kind of fun, light stuff. I think I'm probably going to experiment with this a little more because it's pretty cool. So that'll be it. That'll do it for this live stream. I'm gonna check back in Discord to see if anything's going on. So I don't know if anybody tuned in because this was kind of early. It's like the beginning of a workday on a Wednesday. But if when you watch it, feel free to leave comments or get in touch. In the Discord server. Any ideas or things that you want me to try. I will probably make a more formal video of this because it's pretty cool. But yeah, thanks for watching.